All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a best of 9. Terran versus Clem in the bottom right side, Dark in the top left. It's the Enki Pro Series. He's been doing one of these once a month. And dude, what a crazy choice it is to get a best of 9 between these two on what appears to be the ladder map pool. We're playing on King's Cove or Cala del Rey, as I saw in my beautifully Spanish version of the game replay file that I downloaded. I went, oh, I was like, Cala del Rey, what map? Is that a new map? And I was like, oh, it's King's Cove. My Spanish is still not looking so great. What can I say, guys? Twitch chat's been trying to teach me, but every time I speak to an actual Spanish-speaking person, I find out everything that Twitch chat has taught me is completely incorrect. Now, Dark is not taking a gas, which on this map is patently insane. Have you not studied this map? Oh, Dark, you've been playing on this ladder. Guys, this is the Reaper Ledge to end all Reaper Ledges. There's no way you can go gasless 3 hatchery on this map. Oh, no. He's going to go gasless 3 hatchery against 2 racks Reaper. I don't think this goes well. It's Dark. He's a magician. Maybe he pulls off something crazy. You can see his thought process. Big map, only got 2 entrances. Let's play greedy, 3 hatch gasless. Yeah. We'll just, play super greedy. Why not? Why would I not do this? I'll go straight to roaches after a few queens and slow zerglings. Easy peasy. Unfortunately for him, Clem understands this map and that it has the biggest Reaper ledge of all time. So he's going 3 racks Reaper, not even 2 barracks. Okay, so we've seen Dark have opportunities to hold this before. The key thing is he needs to not get supply blocked on 28, 27. And usually he does. So he builds a queen, builds 4 zerglings. He sees 1 Reaper come out, and it's clear that barracks is on the natural from how early that Reaper moved out. Does he realize? He should realize now. He needs an Overlord right now. Second queen, where's that Overlord? Should be building next. He builds 2 more lings before the Overlord. Oh gosh, he's got 100 minerals. This is the latest he should start it. He starts it right on time. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. I've seen him forget that Overlord, but because the Reaper takes so long to get here, he's not distracted until after the Overlord starts. And now he gets to do that really pretty damn solid Zergling micro, buys himself a bit of time, and his first queen's going to pop out on this natural, which is where it's needed to push this Reaper away. Reaper's going to get a second Zergling, though, but the queen is now out, and look at that, just going straight for the queen. Good pullback on those Zerglings, and you don't really want to be going a creep tumor here. You want to put it there to connect the bases. Then again, it's a very small gap in the creep spread on this map, so I think it's okay. I think you can get away with it on King's Cove. Nice Reaper grenades coming in. Where's that second queen? She's coming down from the main. He needs that transfuse. A few more Zerglings on the way as well. 7 drones queue up. I think that's the right call. I know that seems greedy right now. Well, actually, it's the wrong call because he's only got... Okay, he starts 1 more queen. If it was 2 racks Reaper, it'd be the right call. But now he sees the 4th Reaper, which tells him this is 3 racks. He should know it's 3 racks now. Oh, gosh. Has he been too greedy? I think he might have been. The Zerglings need to get in there. He can't lose the high energy queen. He's going to lose the high energy queen. Transfuse. You need to transfuse that other queen. Oh god, drones just popped out into bad positions. 2 of them go down. Extractor Trick does go down. He needs to transfuse that queen right now. He cannot dilly-dally. And there we go. Transfuse does go down. 3rd queen pops out. 4th and 5th are building. So Zerglings are just meat. They're just meat, guys. They're cannon fodder. Their job is to slow down the advance of these Reapers. Ooh. Okay. He gets another Reaper. That's 2 Reapers I think he's killed. If he can kill another one, that'd be big. The Reaper pulls back, queen goes down, and that's a high energy queen that's about to die. He transfuses before she goes down, but now he's lost all of his firepower, and these Reapers are getting out of control. And as I said, it makes, I think, not a lot of sense to do the 3-hatch gasless on this map if you think about the Reaper ledge, but I guess he was just expecting big map, Clem plays safe. If he'd gone hatch gas pool, he'd have an easy time defending this. So you could argue it's a bit of a gamble for Clem, but it's a gamble that pays off big. And on a map that's so good for Reapers, I think it's a great way to set the pace for this series. I think there's one thing we've seen about Dark in Zerg vs Protoss and Zerg vs Terran. You do not want to let him get to the late game for free. You don't want to let him get to the mid game for free. He will do very greedy things, take big advantages, and swarm you. And maybe not the late game, but like the late mid game, the mid game. That's where if he gets away with a greedy start, he'll ruin you. Clem's not giving him room to do that. Clem is ripping him apart right now. And I feel like Dark, much like Tommy Wiseau in the middle of the room, is saying, "You're tearing me apart, Lisa." But in this case, it's "You're tearing me apart, Clem." And I mean, he's looking at the dogs. He's saying, "Hello, doggy." But the doggy, even though it has a dubbed voiceover, is still not going to be able to save him from this one. Those Reapers are just getting way too much damage. He's killed so much. Even now you think, well, the Reapers are dying. They are dying, but he's killed everything. He's got 3 command centers up behind this against a Zerg stuck on 31 drones. His last Reaper does arrive. He's lost 8 Reapers for 5 Queens, 52 Zerglings, 2 drones. Still has 8 Reapers on the map. You can see the factory's finished. 3rd command center is up. He just cancelled something there. I think it was like a 4th barracks. But he's got 3 barracks, swapping into Stim, swapping into Marines as well. And the grenade does go down. Yeah, playing against this, guys, Clem's Reapers, I don't know if I've described to you, even playing against Clem's 2-Rax Reaper is one of the most frustrating things. I've opened safest build in existence, 15-15 versus 2-Rax Reaper. And I just, it's so hard to not just die to 2-Rax Reaper pressure, even with a safe build. Obviously, that's because I'm way out of my element playing someone like Clem. But Dark is just in a situation where he played way too greedy, and once you give Clem momentum, this is what he does with it. Queen's on the low ground. You can see this Reaper ledge. Anywhere on that giant ledge, you can jump up or down. And he's going to try and get out. Does he get the Reddit Point Reaper away? Yes, he does. Another grenade. And dude, it's 23 drones against 44. Double E-base, starport, 5 Marines building at a time. 3rd command center floating out. Clem does not miss a beat. Chat says, do Queens build faster than Reapers? Yeah, a Reaper takes 32 seconds. A Queen takes 29 seconds, I believe. I can double check that. 36. No. 32 seconds for a Reaper, 36 for a Queen. Sorry, it's 29 seconds for an inject. It's getting my numbers mixed up there. 3 drones. 2 drones go down. 1 barely survives. The Reapers are back in the main, and the slow Zerglings, guys. This is a little bit like sending small children to attack people with machine guns. I mean, this isn't even charging the opposing trench in World War I. This is walking towards it slowly with your swords in your hands. Oh my gosh. Yep, and that's going to be GG, man. 7 minutes of torture for Dark. Not a fun way to start a best of 9 against Clem. All right, guys. We've got Clem in the top left side of the map. I don't know if that was just a build read. Big map. I know Dark's going to play greedy, but it was the perfect read to take down Dark. And that basically assures you Dark's now going to play Hatch Gas Pool. He would have to be an absolute madman to go 3 Hatchery Gasless again. And to do it on this map. This map's not good for it because it's just a good aggressive map. You normally want to play those build orders on your post-youths, you know? Only 1 entrance in. He originally played a lot on Neo-Humanity, a map which was a very long rush distance with like a winding path through the middle. So he likes to play it on certain maps, and Clem's actually going to go gas first. Clem, are you going to play Battle Mech? When you give Clem a best of 9, he gets quite experimental, guys. I don't know. The reason I'm thinking Battle Mech is gas first usually means quick factory. You go quick factory to dive 4 Hellions in at about 3.5 minutes earlier, about 25 seconds, 20 seconds earlier than you normally would. So you can kind of chain that, and you can then go Banshee faster than normal with a quick second gas and just like chain up aggression and basically try to take advantage of a greedy Dark. And it really fits with keeping him on the back foot. It's a different way of keeping him in the back foot than the 3-Rax Reaper in the last game, but it's another good way to just kind of get in Dark's face, make him paranoid, and really see if he's going to struggle to deal with all this stuff. The most baffling thing about your knowledge, Pig, is the way you remember every map ever. I definitely don't. We called Rotterdam the elephant brain for a reason. That man remembers more maps than anybody else. Like, Rotterdam, you know, kind of seems like a real normie Chad sometimes. And then you, like, bring up some StarCraft build, and he's like, just be like, yeah, 2016, MLG, down, MLG. And you're like, what? Like, he just starts twitching, and numbers come out, and dates, and exact build orders. And you're like, what? Like, Roddy remembers even... Yeah, I mean, maybe Cyril would remember more maps in more perfect detail than Roddy if Roddy wasn't literally 4 times as old as Cyril. Like, you gotta understand that Cyril wasn't even born when Rotterdam was pro gaming. So, Rotterdam just... I mean, over the years, maybe Cyril will eclipse Rotterdam's knowledge one day. It's gonna take him a while. It's gotta be alive for another few decades. Alright, guys. Reaper coming in. Nice grenade comes down. See if he can get a pick off. It is a fast double gas behind this, by the way. So he is going for that quick Banshee, most likely. It could be quick Liberator. Usually it's quick Banshee, though. Gumiho likes to do this. Most Zergs are so used to playing against 3 command center build, they don't even pay attention to their scouting. The way you can know this is not a 3 command center build is, number 1, that Reaper was a few seconds late. Dark is not a detail-oriented player. He will not have picked up on that 9 times out of 10, so I doubt he realizes it's gas first. The other thing is, if you don't see a depot start by about 3.5 minutes on the natural, then normally you know it's 3 command center. So one thing you can do to disguise this as Clem is you can actually build an extra depot in the main delay your wall off to not give away the information of what's happening. But he's already rallying Hellions out. Those Hellions being so early should already tell Dark what he's up against. He should absolutely be building more Zerglings now, because he might even dive his first 2 Hellions. Clem might not even wait for 4. 4 allows you to one-shot drones. No queens moving in the front. He's only on 3 queens. He starts at 4th. No sign of extra Zerglings. He does not appreciate what he's up against. Oh, gosh. Dark, he should have realized when he saw those Hellions leaving the base how much of a commitment this was, but he did not react. His queen was watching for the Reaper ledge rather than for the run-by. The run-by was always the bigger threat here. Reaper jumping in your main is very low priority. Only 1 drone, so good amount of minimizing of the damage, but does lose mining time. And it's not done yet. Another drone goes down. A Reaper and a Hellion gonna pick off a few more, and this is where the real damage comes in. Oh no! And this is where, man, Clem gets so fluid when you give him a best of 9. Look at the range he's showing. Really quick Cloak Banshee coming in behind as well. He's gonna have a very fast Banshee across this map, and Dark is getting hammered. His Ling speed now kicks in, but it wasn't a super fast Ling speed. And he just did not realize he wasn't paying attention to his Overlord Scout. And you can see the depot did actually get built in the main to disguise the build a little bit more as well. Or maybe just out of convenience. This is a bad start for Dark. 8 drones, 5 Zerglings for just 2 Hellions and a Reaper. Hellion's still active and the Banshee goes in towards the main. Second Banshee's quite delayed, it feels like. The first one can fly in. Spore Crawlers are on time though, so it feels like, okay, Dark realized what's up. He does go Spores now. And he's going to go for a big Ling counterattack. He's still massing Zerglings. He realizes that just defending, he'll be playing from a bit behind, even though the 3rd Command Center tends to be very late with this build. So he's going to gamble on a mass Ling counterattack. It's actually 3 racks before 3rd Command Center. Clem was going to follow this up with a 2-base timing attack, which is crazy. Ling's trying to block the Hellions. They get one of them, but they are going to get roasted. 2 Hellions go down, but now the Zerglings are mostly cleaned up. Mass Ling run by at the same time. Gets into the main and the natural. Oh, is Dark going to get it back with this? Dude, he's losing so many workers, but so many SCVs are going down as well. The Banshee had to run home. The Hellions do fall. It's a total of only 5 drones going down. The Lings are inside the main base. The SCV is going to have to fight against this, or they're going to try to run, in fact. Maybe raise the depot behind him. He's going to try and fight there. Using hold position, uses a nice little surround. The Banshee adding some nice damage. And Clem, he's had it. The fact that he's doing a 2-base attack revealed. Not only the economic damage, he's also had the 3 racks plan revealed, which means he's planning to do a big aggressive build order. Now the Banshees have to stay at home because there is only units, but Clem is Clem, so he's going to go across the map because he has no semblance of keeping it in his pants. He's like, look, I'm so far behind, I have to go force you to build units, and actually, luckily clears up a bunch of those Zerglings, which does mean his Marine production should be able to defend this. Conservative playing Clem is not things that go together. And when you're behind in a game, you don't want to play conservative. You want to play high risk. Makes sense. Roach Warren's on the way for Dark. He's on 43 drones. Trying to go double. I mean, Dark's economy was so bad from the early game. Let's keep the Overlord alive for now. Well done. Gonna have to wait for a medevac to get that going. So it's going to be a 2-base push into a Roach play. Roach Ravage is the best thing for slowing down a 2-base push. Banshee comes back, cleans up the Overlord. Clem trying to rebuild his worker count. Main saturated, natural. 10 workers there, 1 on the gas. Combat shields coming in, stims already finished. It's only 5 queens for Dark. 5 queens, 3 spore crawlers. +1 range comes in. Carapace is the more important upgrade. It starts just seconds later. Where's the Overseer? There it is. Beautifully placed. No damage to this Banshee assault. And he's got good creep spread. This looks like Dark's bringing this game back. Bad start for him. But gambling on that big Ling Flood worked out really well. Banshees and Hellions being on the wrong side of the map takes advantage. He's building a few more Lings, which is interesting. I think, is that to show to the Banshee? Does he want to show the Zerglings? Or is he just getting another counterattack? Normally you'd be doing nothing but mass Roach here. Looks like he wants to counter with Zerglings. Interesting. He's building more drones as well. Dark playing really weird. He's also not building Overlords. He's building drones at the worst possible time. What are we doing right now? He's trying to go for a 4th hatchery. Dark! You saw a 2-base all in, but you're building Lings and drones right now as the attack arrives. Clem, with decisiveness, is going to punish him. Nice Ling counterattack does intercept a few of those units. But dude, Dark's in trouble right now. The Marines are just going to jump on top and kill all the Ravagers. Oh, Dark! He knew exactly what was happening, but he just did not respect it. He did not think Clem could hit him this hard and this fast. A big misjudgment for Dark is going to cost him this game. You know, once 1-1 and Roach speed kicked in, he was. If he just kept building Roaches, of 53, 54 drones, and then maybe mixed a few drones in here or there. It would be great, but building Zerglings, I don't think made any sense, and he just takes so much damage. 16 workers go down. Second tank's there, even with a bile. Can you get rid of that tank? Doesn't seem to have the firepower. Tank, it's finally going down, but there's another one behind it. More Marines rallying in. The Roaches and the Ravagers are on struggle street, and they cannot get in range of that siege tank. It is ruining him. The Queen goes forward as well, and Dark knows without being able to slay that tank, he's going to have to GG. Hey, Sniper Roach does take it out. Well done. He's going to hang in there, but he's pretty dead. He's going to transfer from that main. Roach is trying to intercept. Big tank shot. Ooh. Wow. Kind of cool, though, guys. I got to appreciate the fact that Clem went gas first, 2 Hellion dive into another 2 Hellion dive, into quick Banshee dive, into 2 base push. Like, what a cool style. He's now transferred into 3rd command center, so he's got to follow up. He's not all in here. And he's just going to move around with these drops, cleaning up creep, limiting the map control. Realizing Dark is in a spot where he doesn't want to build workers. But if he doesn't build workers and rebuild a 4th base, he's going to be kind of dead in the long game. Marines will get an Overlord. Think about pushing forward. Sees no 4th base, though. Roach is trying to counterattack. There is a tank exposed at the front. Whoa, Clem. Clem not watching right now. He's too busy focusing on his own drop, and he loses a tank there for free. I mean, most players wouldn't even think to attack here. Dark, his crazy risk-taking does pay off a little bit. Spore Crawlers get a little bit of damage on the medevacs, but not that much in the main, and not enough units at home to defend. Roach Ravage are going to do well against these Marines. Maybe, maybe not, actually. Turns out medevacs are good, and Ravagers are incredibly vulnerable. They're going to get hunted down. Still doesn't have enough units to defend. Does eat a bile. A couple of Marines go down, but 3 Roaches, no match for a tank, and 10 Marines in the main base. This is a disastrous game 2 for Dark. Not able to deal with Clem's aggression. You know, I think going into this series, you're thinking, how do I deal with Clem's 3cc? How do I deal with Hellion Banshee off 3cc? How do I deal with Hellion with 211? You know, double Marine drop off 3cc. We've had 2 very aggressive builds. And in a best of 9, that's the best way. Put your opponent on notice early. Dark's going to be more and more shaken going into normal games from this. More worried. And it's going to open up a very easy opportunity for Clem to play comfortable macro games after this start. All right, still trying to just harass here is Clem, but he's got a 3rd up. Engineering bay, 2nd engineering bay, armory. 2-2 Roach Ravager on 52 drones. Dark's got to make some magic happen. Magic against Clem from this spot, though. Not a chance in hell. I feel like there was a lot of games for a while there over the last few years where Dark could make crazy comebacks, but he's playing against Clem and Heroes so much these days. Players who don't really let him. Serral as well. They don't give him the room, you know? I feel like if you have a less defined, sloppier era of StarCraft, Dark's unkillable. So hard to put in the ground. Clem right now just way too solid. Apparently we've got a weird production issue with some light bouncing around the screen. It's just the aliens, guys. I'll check that out after the game. Marines running forwards here. Overseer goes down. Roach Ravager as well. Make sure you guys link a clip of that light effect to me at the end of the game. Should be any moment now. I can't believe Dark's still alive. He runs forward, triple biles a tank, which is cute. Tries to fight the Marines away from the siege tanks. I mean, it's good micro from him. It's just when you're outnumbered by bio, like you can't even beat the Marine Marauder medevac, let alone the siege tanks. So even deep on creep, Clem can overwhelm him. Marine Marauder siege tank dancing around. It's going to be a nice game 2 for Clem, taking the lead. All right, somebody put the brakes on this man. He's looking tight. He's looking aggressive. I love the Ranger builds. He's being experimental. He's playing for the fans right now. And Dark needs to tighten it up. He saw Hellions leave the ramp, didn't build any Zerglings immediately. That is I know it sounds, it's a big mistake. Like I said, I think Lambo and Serral and a lot of other players, Rogue, immediately when they see the Reaper being a few seconds late on Whispers of Gold, that small map, they already would have expected gas first and had preparation, whether that be all 3 queens on the low ground blocking the Hellions when they run in, an extra 4 Zerglings blocking the ramp. It's something, some small extra effect would have been really, really good. Really, really good, but he didn't go for it. That's going to cost him. So he's going to go pull first here on ley lines. Looking to mix it up with some aggression. Dark and Raynor are 2 players who I've always said are some of the best by feel players, who I think their natural way to play is just to take control of the game, dictate what's happening, and kind of micro and feel their way through it with counterattacks and backstabs. And it's a very organic way of playing Zerg. I think Life fit into that same genre of Zerg players back in the day. Whereas you look at the guys like Serral is the first real world champion caliber Zerg we've had who's been so much more methodical and whatnot. Now this is only, wow, this is the old Lambo 5 roach pressure. This build's meant to be somewhat back since we no longer have the reacted cyclone available, but Clem scouts. Clem's playing safe, that's huge. Him scouting for this means he should be able to prepare for it quite well. Question is always, do you go bunker on the natural or do you pull back to your high ground? Both are feasible. Oh, Zerglings get spotted, and the Zerglings going after the SCV. He's like, okay, well, I don't want to lose the SCV, but also, do I send the Reaper out? He does. Oh, no fear. No fear that there was more Zergs. If there was more Zerglings, they could come in, deny the SCV. But Clem has always been an absolute Chad when he plays against these builds. He just doesn't care. He disrespects the threat so much, and he just goes across the map. And he says, if I lose build time on my command center, I lose build time on my command center. I don't care. My Reaper is going to see exactly what you're up to, and he knows what's up. Sees the Roach Horn, sees the Roaches popping out, gets out of there scot-free as well. I mean, that's just sick. That's sick. Does he go bunker? Bunker on the high ground. And he's going to build reacted Marines. He's going to make a Tech Lab, a Cyclone, and shut this down. Dark going back to droning, but he's on 1 queen. Second queen only halfway done. He's only on 17 workers. This is going to be a relatively easy defense for Clem. As long as he rallies his SCVs to the main, drops his mules in the main, I don't think he loses anything. Reaper there is going to see it coming. I would love to hear how those players, Dark, Raynor, Life, grew into that style. They realized they're faster than everybody else, and when they ran Zerglings into the enemy base, it did well for them. I kind of was a much lesser version of the same sort of Zerg. Never had the same understanding of builds and matchups the way Serral did, but was able to have success when I clicked lings into people's bases a lot. And then when you have success with something, you get encouraged to do it more and more, and that's essentially what happens for a lot of Zerg players. Like, when I just keep being cheeky and doing run-bys and then expanding, and a mixture of aggression and greed. Aggression and greed is really big. Dark. He's 4 Overlords! Dark! Oh, my lord. Look at this. This is already a bad economy build. Like, yes, he's found a depot, but this is going to get shut down soon. He needs to get out of here and be as economic as possible behind it. But a massive supply block behind this. And with this getting shut down, he's not only losing every Ravager, he's going to lose the Overlord as well. Oh, no. The Cyclone's going to easily clean up that Overlord. This is a disaster for Dark, who was massively supply blocked, was at 38 out of 68 afterwards, no third hatchery started, and no ability to defend a third hatchery, trying to run his Overlords home. It's a lack of refinement in the build orders for Dark. It's a thing that bites him in the butt. It makes it so hard for him to compete in 2025. And this is a really unfortunate problem for him. You just, like, against Clem, you need to be quite perfect. You need to be quite perfect. I remember after Bjorn got trounced by Clem in Pigfest, a lot of people said, Pig, what could he have done? What should have Bjorn have done? And I said, Bjorn's builds were great. I really think he planned the series really well. He just didn't execute well enough. Bjorn made a ton of mistakes in that series, and Clem beat him with Protoss really hard, because every time Bjorn found an advantage, he was like supply blocked or missing production for a full minute behind it. You can't make these mistakes against Clem. He's too good at his fundamentals. And look at this punishing maneuver. And medevac with 2 Cyclones chases down the Roaches. Oh, is he just going to kill him with 2 Cyclones and 6 Marines? Wow, he gets another Roach. Slow Zerglings being forced out. I mean, I think at this point you just commit to the hatchery kill. But if he comes off creep, maybe that's not going to work. I wouldn't mind locking onto the hatchery. And that's going to be a cancel. 2-base Zerg. Massing Zerglings and Queens on 2-base. This is not a good option. Hellions are now coming out behind it. They're going to see the Lings trying to flood across, and Clem will quickly pull home. I think you've got to back out of this, but Dark already feels committed. He's going to look for the surround. Does not find the Hellions, though. He only finds the Marine and the Hellions. The Bernie cars are where the real anti-Zergling firepower is. That is what you need to deal with. One Hellion on the right side died, I think. These two Hellions are going to defend in the natural. Another Hellion does go down. But for what? It's a lot of Zerglings, and there's no economic damage, which is what really matters at this point. Yeah, 2 Hellions went down. That's it, guys. These Marines running home. More Zerglings coming across the map. So 2 hatcheries. Dark needs to build a 4th hatchery right now. Liberator's coming in. He spotted it, though. Good response for Dark. He's ready. Clem, though, does not siege his Liberators in blind. He's almost always watching and actively microing as he sends the Libs in. So unlikely for him to sacrifice that Liberator. There's an argument that when you see a Liberator for Clem, you actually should move the Queens to here. And then the moment he starts sieging is when you move your Queens in. Because it doesn't matter how fast you are. Once you start that siege animation, you cannot cancel it. You have to wait for it to finish sieging, then unsiege it, and then fly it away. And against guys like Clem, you have to assume they're always watching, because they usually are. They are very, very quick. And one cannot just expect them to fly into your trap. You really have to ambush Clem. He makes you work for it. Ling Ravage is on the way, guys. I think this is a wise choice. Dark knows he's dead if he doesn't do something soon. Economically, he's screwed. When these upgrades kick in, 1-1 combat shields, he's about as screwed as they get. Seeing no drones on the 3rd base, though, Clem's got to realize something's up, and he pulls back to his natural. He's making tanks and Marines. If he doesn't have a bunker, maybe, I kind of believe Dark might get him. Oh, he moves out! He moves out! Pull back! Clem! Oh, God, Clem, get out of there! He's trying to pull his SCVs away. I think if a tank gets up on the high ground, though, he's fine. Tank is moving to the low ground. Maybe a bad choice. Maybe. The Hellions, as long as they survive, they can hold back some of these units, though. Liberator is there. Ravage is trying to do it. He's going to try and poke with the Cyclones. I think the Cyclones would be the best unit to poke in and out right now for Clem. He's going to lose a lot of depots, but Clem's already rebuilding 3 depots behind his natural. He knew this supply block was coming. He's like, as long as I don't die, it doesn't matter. He repairs up the Liberator. Notice it's not on top of the siege tank, so that Biles have to hit the units separately. Just real good attention to detail. Almost loses a reactor there. Dark has gone back to droning. He's at least denying mining on the 3rd, and he's realizing, look, I can't kill you here. Let's make the best of a bad situation. Gets rid of a Hellion, throws a few nice Biles spread across, gets himself another Marine as well. Dark doing a really good job of not just headbutting to his death. He drones up, takes a lair, has a 4th base on the way. He's going to go for a Baneling nest. Maybe Dark can actually do something from here. Killed a lot of depots. Units lost time. Pretty close to even. But with 1-1 finishing and an armory, he remembered to build his armory in the midst of that. Wow. He's going to be able to start 2-2 on time against 1-1 just now starting for Zerg. Usually that's acceptable if Zerg's up a little bit in workers and has something like Mutalisks out. There's no tech advantage, though, for Dark. It's a tech advantage for Terran, in fact, with Stim, Combat Shields, and Medevacs in large numbers. Liberator still being a nuisance. No drones on this 4th. Dark starts trying to drone it now. And he's going to pull every single queen to his main base. That's right. All 6 queens are on one control group, guys. Very standard setup for Dark. And, oh, the Liberator's going to kill 1, 2, 3 Ravages, and he doesn't even bile it. He missed it. Oh, no. Dark. He just lost 3 Ravages. It doesn't even kill the Lib. Oh, Clem's smiling to himself. The queens finally clean up the Lib, but one of the queens went down as well. Oh, my lord, you have to, when you're hovering the Ravager attack, make sure it's highlighting the unit. It's really hard to place it when they're over dead space like that. Ling flank going to come in from the bottom left. He's got to go for it. Roach speed's just not ready, but he's got to go for it. Can the Lings take out the tanks? The Marines pull back. 1 tank falls. Biles landing pretty nicely on the Cyclones, but the Marine count's too good. There's still a tank standing strong. Queens will not be enough meat to absorb all of that gunfire. And that's going to be it. Clem here looking to take it a decisive 3-0 lead. He is all over Dark right now and showing that he's just on an entirely different level. All right, guys, Clem dominating this series, going on to Neon Violet now. Another very greedy map. If there was another... And this map's actually fantastic for the 3 hatchery gasless because you can take this half base in the back for free. Wouldn't be surprised to see Dark go back to that one here. I don't know if it's the best map for Roach Ravager, but since it does have the Skibbity Forest here, I do wonder if it's a decent map for Roach Ravager just to punish any tank pushes that try to come through here. Oh, thank you so much, Narcosis. Gifting 20 subs. We've had a very slow day here, dealing with some bad news with the EPT circuit being cancelled and stuff, but thank you so much for your support. Obviously, good news that EWC finally got announced, that they haven't really told us any of the details. They just said, hey, StarCraft's going to be part of EWC, which is, of course, very positive news. But thank you so much, Sheer Love, mate. Really appreciate those gifted subbies. Third hatchery out front. It is the 3-hatch gasless, but he doesn't want the half base. He doesn't want to settle for the half base in the back. He's going to go for the front base. He's just making sure there's no proxy barracks out here. Just always been part of his build. Scout for proxy barracks, build third hatchery, and then profit like a mad dog. 21 supply third hatchery after going for hatchery, then pool. And it is going to be a command center after a Reaper. So it's a Reaper expand with no scout for Clem. Slightly greedier than those other builds. Not nearly as greedy as Dark's, so we'll see what he can chain together to try to slow down Dark's advance. One of the big problems on this map is late game is where it always heads, unless you get caught by like a Nidus Worm or something like that is Clem. I feel like Clem is a much better player than Dark in late game. But there are moments when Dark gets going, gets his movement going, and especially if Clem tries to take the gold base, it's a bit spread out, and then there's drops hitting him in the back, and Nidus Worms, and armies running in and blowing out planetaries. If Dark has momentum and is able to multi-prong a lot without you just shutting it down, Dark will become the best player in the world. Oh, didn't quite block the Reaper. Almost, but not quite. Yeah, Dark has the best kind of blender, you know, multi-prong, attack 4 places at once for 15 minutes straight. Late game Zerg versus Terran. But it all depends on there being an opening. There's times where he tries to get that going, and it's just like attack gets stopped, drop gets stopped, and it feels like he gets kind of shut down. Still one of my favorite billboards in the entire game and map pool, guys. I mean, I just love it. Freaking Tauren noodle ad or something. He's like, oh, look at me. Come get some horde noodles. I don't know. It's just all the little bits of flavor on these maps is fantastic. Overlord going to be scouting out. Can probably guess there's a third command center in the back. By the way, guys, what is that? Is that a noodle? Oh, yeah. It looks like noodles in like a ramen bowl, right? I can see the little, what's it called? Chashu or something? What's that? That little, actually, it's not chashu is like the meat, isn't it? That's the little like bit of radish with like little pink spiral on it and stuff. But it kind of looked like it's a tentacles. Do you think it's like maybe a Zerg tentacle instead of noodles they put into it? Because it looks way too thick to be a noodle. Dashi? Isn't dashi the powder? Used to like flavor it? I don't know. Wait a second, is that a 4th CC? What? What? Wait. That's his 4th. That's not his 3rd. Wow. Okay, so Clem is gonna go 4 CC mech? No, Clem, what are you doing, mate? Oh, what a mad dog. I love it, guys. No starport. He's gonna go straight into battle mech. So he's gonna try and swarm Dark with mass Cyclone Hellion. Maybe transition into like Thor Tank Ghost or something later. Dark, on the other hand, should be going into Roaches at some point, but he's not Is he going to go Ling Speed? He's got 100 gas. No Ling Speed, no Roach Horn. Hellion Reaper poking around. Ling Queen shuts it down. I mean, he saw that command center in the back. He saw the production being so late, which is probably the bigger tell. Dark droning like a mad dog right now. He's also gone to a quick 4th. Might want to take a 5th against this as Magfield starts up. Hellion Cyclones and the 3rd factory on that tech lab being ready. Dude, I mean, Clem, he can't even afford all of his worker production. The thing about going this greedy is it's actually hard to afford the SCV production. Clem needs to, like, I know he wants to get his Hellion Cyclone going. He's got to make sure he keeps his worker production up with how greedy he's been. It's like actually an immense amount of money going into just building workers right now. You can see he's not quite able to maintain 4 workers at a time because he's trying to squeeze out the Hellion Cyclone as well. Double Evo comes down as well as a lair. Baneling Nast. He's not going to play Roaches. I mean, that makes it really scary when Blue Flame comes in, but Blue Flame hasn't started yet. Clem's struggling for money as he goes for a 4th and 5th factory. Still only 3 SCVs building at a time, so he's not super optimizing economy. He's trying to balance economy and tech and upgrades and production and all these different things as Double Armory does go down. I can't imagine Clem's practiced this build much, if at all. Blue Flame starting up for him. Still no Roach Horn for Dark as he builds a 5th hatchery in the back. 70 workers for Dark. Most Zergs in this sort of game would already be thinking about 90 drones, but it's Dark, so I think he's more than happy to stop at 70 and just make army. He's gotten here in such a greedy way. 70 drones at about 540. He's already building an infestation, but thinking about Hive, maybe Ultras, Vipers. I don't think he has any idea it's Battle Mech, though. Remember what I said about Dark, Raynor? Much like life, they didn't really scout, they would just counterattack to see what's going on and attack to see what's going on. So when they're not attacking, their opponent plays an unexpected style. It can catch them off guard. Ling's running out to the left. Hellion's going to cut off. Oh, he's looking for the wrap. It's just outside of vision. More units coming in. Left side's walled off. This could be a crazy Ling counterattack. It's an orbital on the low ground. Dark's not going to fight in front on. He's going to counterattack. He's got Banelings ready. Don't tell Clem. Clem should know. Remember, guys, 2020 to 2022, Dark had a 2-to-1 win rate versus Clem. He was dominating him. 2023 to present day, Clem has a 74% win rate against Dark. Still knows that his weakness is counterattacks. It always has been. Banelings coming in the left side. There's only 2 Cyclones there and a Hellion. Oh, man. That wall off goes down. Banelings coming in. There's Hellions taking a big hit. You got to be careful. Those Blue Flame Hellions. Oh, he tries to re-wall. He's not going to get it in time. But these are Blue Flame Hellions. One Cyclone getting surrounded. Massling trying to come in. He's going to morph a few Banelings in the base, guys. That's what we call the Chad maneuver. Hellions do get taken down, but the rest of the army's back, and it doesn't feel like he's really doing any damage. Dark trying to throw a blender. He's trying to go for a Roach Warren and burrow now. Dark has realized he has severely misread this game. He has just found out that he's playing against mech. Gold base goes up for free on the right side because Dark doesn't know about it. Baneling's rolling in. Clem, pull the boys. He does run his SCVs away. Cyclone, Hellion going to try and defend this. Got to try and kite against these Banelings, and he does just that. Doesn't really lose many workers. Only 2 SCVs going down. Dark still only on 71 drones. I can't believe he's not droning any more than this, but I think he realizes if he gives up forward position on the map, this Cyclone Hellion's going to be knocking on the door. 3 more factories are building. That's going to be 8 factory in a moment. He's got an engineering bay going down so he can start making planetaries. Baneling's going to roll on the left side. He tries to time the depot, the depot drop. He tries to time out the call extra supplies to heal it as the Banelings blow up, but it doesn't quite land in time. Clem, always a man who likes to go for the highlight play, and he doesn't quite pull it off. Lings get in the back door. Some units split to the front, and Clem right now needs to just map control it. He needs to send half his army to clear up the left side of the map, start sieging the gold base. Half the army needs to go through the middle and over to this right side and start clearing up that creep. Once he has Dark pinned back on his side of the map, it's going to be tough for Dark to get forward. Dark's building roaches, but playing against a Terran on 84 workers, I mean, what can you even do here as Dark? You need to find a stunning engagement. Normally, Fungal is the way you deal with Hellion. Cyclone. I think you can see a Zergling or Baneling came in the left side. Clem leaves a single Hellbat over there to guard that wall. Doesn't really leave anything guarding his gold base. You can see a bunch of Ling Roach moving around behind. Cyclone Hellion coming forward. How do you deal with this army? Clem is down in army supply, and he is deep on creep, admittedly. Way too deep on creep if he gets flanked. We've got Lings on that gold base. Look at that. He's going to shove the front. He's going to shove the front right now. The Roach is trying to burrow. Scan comes down, but a big surround comes in. Dark comes from all angles, and that is going to be hard for Clem to deal with. Oh, Dark move commands his Roaches and lets a bunch escape. Bit of a doo-doo there. He was trying to cut off his retreat, but he misclicked the A move. It doesn't matter. He kills almost everything anyway. Only 2 Hellions get out of there. Does kill 6 SCVs on the base as well. That's the necessary victory that he was looking for. Clem is still ahead on the income, though, and he's starting to mix Widow Mines in. Widow Mines are really good against Banelings. They're really good against Mutalisks. Not as useful versus Roach Zergling, I would say. Tries to burrow his Roaches. Dark trying to do some fancy micro Roaches on the high ground on the left, get a few SCVs. Cyclone Hellion chasing on the right side. Going to be needing to do a lot of scans. Clem never got a chance to get Mass Orbital. So even just baiting scans out does have a slow, gradual, like a sort of slow down effect on the build-up. Now remember, armor doesn't help Zerg against Cyclones. Does help against the Hellions a little bit. Nice burrow there to break the lock. Roachling coming in on this right side. Takes out a few of these Cyclones. These Roaches with 1-1 upgrades up against the 1-1 mech. Those depots buying a bit of time on the right side. The Roaches have to fall back. More Roaches coming in though. Cyclones need a lot of room to breathe. They need a lot of time to get this damage done. And it looks like that gold base never turned into a planetary. Roaches are killing a lot of the workers over there. More Lings coming forward. Dark pushing him back. Clem's like, oh my god, kill him already, guys. But remember, guys, these are not the old anti-armored slaying Cyclones. These are the modern Magfield Cyclone. So it's not 800 damage versus armored over 14 seconds. It is just 600 damage. That might still sound like a lot of damage. It is, but it doesn't kill Roaches as quickly as it used to. All right, guys, we're going to have to turn... Okay, this guy's about to say some racist stuff in chat. I apologize. He's just testing it. All right. Shout out to the loser who's going to make us close this cast. As Dark gets a point on the board, overwhelming the Cyclone Hellion. All right, good to see this series not being too one-sided. That game was really nice. I mean, I think Clem's build was really cute, but he needed to really focus on, I think, vacuuming the map. You guys know when you go through an area in like an Elden Ring or an open world game, and then you kind of are like, well, I haven't actually, I feel like I've done all the important quests, but there's still little gray areas of the map. That's playing Terran vs. Zerg against Dark. Like when he swaps into that style where he's just backstabbing you, you need to basically, no, we're going to check this corner and then this corner. Like you have to go around line by line until you've revealed every corner of the map. And then you have to have like 3 squads of Cyclone Hellion. And then you get him pinned in his corner. And that's when the Cyclone Hellion really goes to work. But the Cyclone Hellion works because, you know, you start hitting him here and then you kite all the way back to your base. And by the time he gets to your base, his army's gone. He hasn't killed a single unit. Problem was, because Clem kept getting just pulled home for free by these counterattacks that were outpositioning him, when the army did arrive, he did kite back, didn't lose any of his army, lost 50, 60 workers, right? He lost way too much of his economy having to run so far away. And especially when you don't have planetary fortresses, that's even more the case. So really nice play for Dark to kind of be sneaky with the counterattacks, but I think that's the answer for Clem. After the first, maybe the second or third counterattack, you have to swap into vacuum cleaning line by line, cleaning up, you know, mopping the map up, making sure there's no surprises coming in. Now, bad spawn for Clem in that the add-ons will be on the outside of the wall. If he spawned up here, they'd be protected behind the barracks. That doesn't matter. He's going to go for the 2-Rax Reaper. Pretty good ramp to defend on this map, and it's a hatch gas pool for Dark. No more risks after that game 1 in that regard. Hey, Pig, what is the appropriate response in ZvZ to scouting fast roaches? Questions like this generally better when they relate to the actual game at hand or when I'm between games, guys, in the chat. A lot of guys come in the chat and they're like, Encyclopedia Pig, guy built a carrier, what do I do? And I'm like, maybe the guys in the chat can help you out. We can't really interrupt casts for those sort of questions. Generally, early roaches is super vague. I don't really know what early means or fast roaches. And, it's a pretty standard thing to build roaches in Zerg vs. Zerg, so keep doing whatever your normal game plan is, and it should work just fine. Your normal game plan shouldn't have to adjust just because you see your opponent building roaches. Generally, if your opponent attacks you earlier than you're ready, you make more army, and you overwhelm it. Yeah, always happy to help out players in the chat. Just want to let you guys know why I ignore people. I ignore them when it's not a great time to answer it. And now here I've already distracted myself from the cast. Let's keep commentating. Reaper's not finding much damage at all. Pretty easy to defend this one. He hasn't put a creep tumor down though. He did go for the double inject. Arguably a little greedy. I think he feels fine. I think the double inject was the more important thing. Overlord's really late here. So Dark does forget his Overlord for a bit longer than he should have. He also went 4 queens, so he's only on 25 drones. He doesn't even have a 3rd hatchery. Because is this response bad? 4 queens before Overlord. Seems very inefficient. Normally you want to take an economic advantage against this. I feel like Dark could have been at 35 workers by now. If he gets the Reapers, it's all fine. But if he doesn't get the Reapers, it could be rough. Grenade here. Oh, first grenade was a bit ambitious. Might get punished for that. That's a good grenade. Wow, not good enough though. He's going to lose at least some of these. Dark gets 1. Can he get more? Blocks the jump up. Nicely done. That's going to be 3 Reapers down. That's really good. There's only 1 Marine behind the wall off. Clem has to build a bunker here. That's a good start for Dark. Yeah, he definitely overcommitted to the 4 queens. But you got to be careful on the Overlords and the droning because against this, you always delay your 3rd a little bit. But that's not too bad if you get 2 mineral lines filled up on workers really quickly. But he was very slow to drone this worker line up. So maybe a little bit of trauma for Dark after that first game in the series. These are just the little things where those little advantages make a big difference. And I think Dark just missed an opportunity to get quite far ahead. Because normally killing the 3 Reapers like that is just top tier. Gives you massive map control. Really makes the Terran very blind. Makes him a bit afraid of getting all in as well. But he's still ahead is Dark. Just think he could have been in a dominant position right now. And remember, even though he's up in workers, you want to get way ahead in workers here because there's going to be medevacs arriving in about a minute. And at that point, you need to be in nothing but army production while the Terran catches up. So you boost ahead on workers at this stage, Then you start trying to make your own evolution chambers, upgrades, Baneley Nest or Roach Warren, all these sorts of things. And every time you build a building, that's a dead drone, right? Every time you build Zerglings, you're not building workers. So he's got to try to make sure he gets the initial worker advantage so that Clem isn't able to overtake him once the medevacs arrive. Stim is there. Evo Chambers coming up. Double Evo Bane Nest. So it's going to be a Ling Bane style. Ling Bane for Dark is a little weak to timing attacks. That's what he's got to keep his mind out for. And if Clem goes for a second tank, and then puts them in a medevac, boosts across the map, 30 Marine, 2 tank push around 7.5 minutes. It's proven to be something that Dark usually can't handle with a Queen Ling Bane opening. Unless he's had a good start, and arguably he has a good start this game, so this might be a good scenario. Is he being too greedy? Only 20 Zerglings and 7 Queens, but he pulls every Queen to the front. Classic Dark. Dark is the guy who never cuts it too fine on prioritizing injects. Notice he's not injecting his main, but he's going to try. He's just like, pull every Queen to the front. We'll be okay. And this is what happens when you pressure Dark. Often you do indirect damage by forcing him to pull his Queens, and he misses a lot of injects. There's no Queen injecting the third, no Queen injecting the main. Now he injects the main since he's standing next to it. And he's going to try and take a fourth on the top left side of the map. 63 workers for Dark. Infestation Pit on the way. So it's going to be a 5 gas early hive for Vipers. No Hydras this time around. Good creep clearing for Clem. He is building extra tanks nice and early. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised to see another push come when this medevac pops out. If he picks up the 2 tanks and moves forward, could either try and deny the 4th or go to this right side, put a tank down here, and here, deny this base. I think Dark's just going to give up whichever base he pushes and counterattacks, though. Probably the best play with this style for Dark. Wherever Clem pushes, you give up that side, counterattack, and you can always give up a 5th base as long as you keep 4 bases defended. Medevac's coming out. Are we thinking about pushing? Doesn't look like it. Clem's taking a 5th gas. He's going up to 5 barracks. He's building some missile turrets. He sieges another tank in the natural. Starts a second factory, which tells us I think we're going to see an armory in a moment. Second factory, armory goes down. 4th command center will be next. So very just macro-oriented play as Dark sets up a counter on the left side. I think you want to go a bit heavier than this. If you can get about 8 Banelings and 30 Zerglings, you can blow up the natural wall, get in here, clear both mineral lines, assuming Clem doesn't leave his tanks at home. Clem does unsiege. He's thinking about moving forward. For now, though, it's just a quad drop. 30 Marines, 4 medevacs. He's going to stim just a few Marines forward for now. Start to clear that creep. Here we go. Ling Bane counter coming. He's not sieged. Oh, here come the Banelings. Not enough to kill the tank, though. And the Marines will get inside the bunker. Command center got killed. No cancel. Will the Lings get rid of the tanks? Not quite. That tank on the high ground did save the bacon. Bunker starts burning. Clem was caught off guard by that, though. The 4th command center kill, is that worth it? Cost for cost? Definitely not. But slowing the 4th down sometimes is worth a big investment. The reason why I didn't like the commitment that Dark made is he stopped at 63 workers. He only now droned to 77. He's going to lose his 5th base. It's not the end of the world, but remember, he committed pretty hard to army at that stage so that he could pounce and punish Clem for moving across the map. Clem moved every Marine across the map and unsieged his tanks. It was an opportunity. If he had more Ling Bane, I think he could have killed quite a bit more there. Now Dark's gone back to a more standard game. 2-2 on the way, as well as Burrow. Ultra Cavern. He's going to be going for a 78 drone Ultra play. He's got earlier upgrades, which is really good. The 2-2 for Clem, definitely a bit slower than he'd like. Clem's 4th command center also delayed, but the overall supply and army supply is very good since a lot of Ling Bane did go down. Dark's not rebuilding his 5th base. There we go. Finally. It's very slow, that 5th base. I'm not sure he's going to have places to transfer his workers to. You see, his main's half mined out. Where's he going to send these workers? He's already saturated all 4 bases, guys. That's why that 5th base should be up, because he should already be transferring 8 workers from the main down. Clem can deny this again. This is having an impact on Dark's income. Left side, left side, left side. Clem picks up the last second. Nicely done. Cancels the 5th again. Dark stuck on 4 bases. Clem, look at this. I think he's thinking about just going home. He's realizing, okay, when I put Dark in a hard spot, he's always going to counterattack. I think he's really wise to realize this. Oh, Dark pretended to run away, but he goes back in. He can get some boom booms. Very nice. 13 SCVs. Clem with the rare mistake because he is microing his drop in the top. Still no Vipers, no Hydras. It's just Queens for anti-air. Clem, when he recognizes that you're skipping on something, he will take advantage. Marine mine running forward. He's going to have to pick up Where is he? His tanks aren't siege. What's he doing? He clicks on the Ultra. Oh gosh, Clem, what are we doing? Clem, what was that? Clem just chunked a pig. That's how I attack Zerg. Move commanding on creep with me tanks on siege in a giant ball, and then clicking on an Ultralisk and going, uh-oh, that didn't work the way I wanted it to. That's my move. Clem's been watching my stream. The Marines there trying to stem up and down the ramp. He didn't lose everything. He's still got a good army right now. Marines in the top left side as well. Okay, oh, no, the Queens. They're going to take care of those drops, but the Marines in a corner. Dude, holding the line, a phalanx of Marines. Every band's got the guy next to his back. Eventually, they get swarmed over. Marines on the right side still redropping. It's still only a 4-base Zerg. Dark's got to make something happen. The game's getting a little chaotic. If he could deal with this army, that'd be great. You can see Ling's trying to go in the natural, but it's a constant stream of Bio coming out. And behind this, the 4th base is up. Widowmine, good spready there for Dark. Does avoid the worst of it, but another Widowmine will take out the next Banes. Libs are here as well. And look at that. He's shoving in the natural at the same time. Remember, guys, accepting a defensive position is not in the playbook of Clem. Clem will never just sit and defend, neither will Dark. Dark says, if I defend, I lose. If I attack, I might win. He gets a lot of bailing hits on those Marines. But dude, his supply is just not there. Remember, Dark sat on 63 drones for a solid minute and a half, massing units, and didn't find big damage. All he did was delay the 4th command center with it, but at the cost of a massive amount of army. And you can see in the units lost time, Clem is just doing far too much damage. Dark, unable to find the weaknesses of Clem that he used to find back in 2021, 2022. Remember what we used to see back when Dark showed the world how to beat Clem. Counterattack, backstab, avoid fighting in front on, never let him go first. But the modern Clem, he has learned after years of getting victimized by Dark and other Zergs, not letting him attack, he's learned how to defend and just mix in those small little counterattacks of his own. He never fully accepts being defensive, but he defends very, very well while hitting you with just those tactical little drops in the back that do so much damage. If you're going to go Ultralisk, you should at least go Chitinous Plating. He does have Chitinous Plating, guys. He doesn't have +3 Carapace. Didn't have the money for it, which is understandable in this game. He's trying to go Infestors, trying to rebuild his Baneling Nest, which apparently got sniped this game. Ling's running in that left side. Widowmine kills a few SCVs. Ling's going to do some good damage. Really nice. Ultra's on the front. He needs Corruptors, though. Now that there's Libs out, without Corruptors, without Hydras, this is a problem. He's got no answer to the Libs. Lings on the left side do get cleaned up after 14 worker kills. The Ultra's getting cleaned up by the Marauders, the tank, and the Lib. And Dark just does not have the money to continue. Clem, too good. All right, guys, we've got Clem in the top right side of the map, and he's like, you know what? You know what? This series is going too long. He made Ultras. We're not going to let that happen again. Dude, is this gasless? Is this just 2 racks Marine, or does he even go 3 racks? Does he queue this SCV across to build a 3rd barracks? It's a 2 racks Marine rush, I think, guys. We're about to find out very shortly. Oh, Dark. Dark, this is going to be hard to stop, mate. Clem almost never proxies barracks. It's been one of my biggest criticisms, is that he's so predictable. No gas means this is definitely Marines. But there's no 3rd SCV, which means it's a 2 racks. This is the old school double 15 barracks. He'll queue up an SCV, and he'll go, I think, is it 16 or 17 or I think it's 18 gas, right? I think Maru used to go 18 gas with this for the transition. Let's find out. Queues up another worker. I'm trying to remember, because Maru did this build like 400 times in 2018. 400 times. But it looks like this is going to be a command center behind it. Right? Let's find out. He's got to save enough money for the orbital, so that's what he's saving his money for. Oh, he's going to go command center behind this. Yeah, this is a super economic version, guys. Wait, he's sending another SCV to the front? What? Oh, he's trying to make it look like an SCV scout. But he doesn't. Oh, the Overlord, it turned around. No, Dark. No. And he sees an SCV and he's like, oh yeah, you're doing a 1-racks expand. Oh no. Clem, you cheeky little bugger. Orbital's on the way. Marines are building. Dark has no idea. Dark's gone hatch gas pool. What timing did his pool start? 45 seconds ago. Okay. Okay. Pretty tight pool timing. He sees it. He sees it. Oh, it's a triple bunker wall off. Oh, good luck surrounding that with drones. Okay, you have to take a second gas and go roach warren right now. That's all you can do. Oh, Clem forces him to give up the expansion. There's just nothing you can do against that, guys. Not if he gets the full wall. That's the other reason the 3rd SCV comes. That's the other reason. Not only does it make you think he's scouting after building a barracks at the normal timing at home, it also goes to the triple bunker wall, and he's like, lol, 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 lol. Pig, pig, hey, Pig. And I'm like, what, Clem? And he's like, you said I do the same build over and over again. You said I don't proxy Rax enough, and that's the difference between me and every other Terran champion in the past. And maybe a big weakness that I have that's exploitable. Well, what was that, Pig? And I'm like, well, I'm really proud of you. Like, it's good. It's good. You're diversifying. You're doing different things. And he's like, you're an idiot. You suck, Pig. And I'm like, well, yeah, I do. I do suck. I'll own it. You're really good, though. You're world champion for a reason. He's like, hey, my name's Clem. I kill your expansion for free. I mean, it's not for free. It costs a lot. He doesn't have his own command center started. His gases are pretty late. So the factory actually does come down pretty late after this. Dude, wouldn't it be funny if he dies to a one-base Ravager Ling counterattack? That'd be friggin' hilarious. I don't think that's gonna happen. You're gonna have to pick at this with Ravager Micro. Does he try to sell his bunkers? You gotta sell them now if you want to sell them, because remember, you can't sell bunkers when they're taking damage anymore, guys. Wow. Chat was saying, I was surprised we didn't move the SCVs behind the bunkers. That's because he's Clem. He wants Dark to try and attack them, and then he'll just pop them in and pop them out. If there's an opportunity to do unnecessary flashy micro, Clem will always take it. Dark doesn't realize he sold the bunkers. Look at this. Dark's like, all right, let's start picking at this. Dude, he doesn't realize the bunkers sold like 20 seconds ago. Now he realizes, he's like, wait, you gotta attack it. You just let him get 75 minerals back, Dark. Okay, these Marines, if they get behind that wall in, that's a huge boon. Clem does leave one Marine. He's like, oh, where'd you guys go? Gets torn down. Poor Nigel. No bunker on the high ground. Is that too dangerous, guys? Oh, he's got a bunker. It's a reserve bunker position, guys. He's building it really far back, knowing he's going to lose his depot wall. Okay, looks like he will let Gary inside the wall at least. Dude, this is crazy. Ravager Lin, 20 drones. He's committed, ladies and gentlemen. And there's no Marine production because the barracks are still floating home. Dark's got to find some damage. He's got to find it soon. Did the Marines just attack his own unit? I feel like they might have that. Roaches and Ravagers going to start to pick up. You got to be careful of that Cyclone. You got to be real careful of that Cyclone. Oh, quick. Okay. 2 depots are down. This is a scary force. Dude, if he can avoid fighting the bunker, I think Dark might be able to do this. But already 1 Ravager getting locked. And you can see with the command center giving vision, you can't break that lock on, man. It's got 14 range. Oh, wow, 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 wow. Big piles. But the bunker unloads. The units are going to try and fight the SCVs. And remember, guys, assemble, drilly boys. They pull out their drills and they charge into battle. SCVs are very brave. Much like Ripley, when she's trying to defend the alien, they will if you get near their shiny minerals, man, they're like a bunch of deep rock galactic dwarves. They will get mad. And they do end up chasing away the Ravagers. Dark kills 13 workers. Is that enough? He started transitioning. His natural's almost finished behind it. You gotta realize just how many units he committed to this right now. Oh, Cyclones are gonna chase. These Ravagers are gone, as is the Overlord. I think Dark may have stayed a bit too long. Maybe should have just belted it out of there. Ran away as quickly as he could. Link speed does arrive with more units. This Ravager's too close to the enemy, but he manages to slip away just barely. 2 command centers, 1 factory. Starport building a Liberator for a little bit of counter pressure. Clem probably pulls back to repair the Cyclone, maybe? Or is he just going to go straight for... I feel like you got to repair these Cyclones. No, he's going to go pressure. He's like, yeah, you don't need hit points if you don't get hit. More roaches building. Dark has decided transitioning to a longer game. Probably not a good idea because there's going to be a counterattack hitting him. He needs units to defend the counterattack, and then maybe he can do his own explosion across this map. Clem is down significantly in supply. And remember, if you don't know anything about StarCraft, that means he's losing. Of course, if you know how StarCraft works, you'd realize it's a bunch of unupgraded Roach Ravager, some of the least supply-efficient units in the game, against the guy who's got Medivacs, 2 barracks, Starport, Stim on the way. And he's about to get a few Overlord kills as well. Dark's going to try and take advantage of this to do a bit of an all-in. Nice transfuse to save 1 of the Overlords. One of them does go down, though. Ling Roach coming in. There's a Liberator there. Ravagers can bile it, of course. Cyclone drop still rotating. Does Clem realize he's being all in? His Marines are on the high ground. I think Marines and SCVs might be able to hold. Just got to avoid getting corrosive biled too badly. Lings do take the first shot. Liberator will go down. No, it dodges. Nice. Unsiege. Dude, Clem's so good with his unsieges, isn't he? Can he get the Liberator biles? Nice. Liberator will go down. Ling, Roach, Ravager getting on top. Wow. Dark's got to move these units in, though. A lot stopping to attack the command center there. He's got to keep moving the rally into the base. Bile bile. Almost lands, but great pullback at the last second for Clem. Clem needs to pull more boys. Dude, Clem's getting overrun right now. He needs to pull more boys. The tank almost eats a bile. The Marines running into the clutch as the Roach Ravager. Is that tank going to be enough? But wait, there's 2 Cyclones. And oh, great pullbacks for Clem. He gets the lock-ons. And it's always those bloody Cyclones that make the Ravagers feel like the most flaccid unit of all time. You could feel like the biggest, firmest, strongest boy, but those Cyclones always make you feel like you've watched too much naughty content and it's changed and ruined your viewpoint of your own physiology. You'll know what I'm talking about. Anyways, Combat Shields is on the way. Clem holds on. Yes, he loses another 13 workers. You'd think this is disastrous, but remember, he's been investing in economy all game. Dark has not. Dark's not even mining off his natural. His main's starting to mine out. He's lost 1 mineral patch. He's going to lose more in the next 30 seconds, so he's got to transfer to that base. Trying to take a third right now, but he's building more roaches. Seems like Dark is trapped in a perpetual motion of making Roach Ravagerling, jamming it across the map, and it's just never quite doing enough damage. Three more Ravagers, 4. 5 more Roaches behind it. Problem is, Stim's going to be done for this one. And Combat doesn't look at this, guys. Clem is just, he's like, I know you're gonna hit me with another wave. I know it's coming. Or at least I know there's a good chance, but oh no, he doesn't know it's coming. He's about to go for an attack. Oh, golly. So we see the Zerglings. He sees the Lings. That alone doesn't seem too suspicious, but I really feel he should be going through the middle of the map. Oh, golly. Oh, he's got a tank on the high ground, though. With no Overlord, you need to get Lings here to spot the tank, and then Ravagers can pile it. That's going to be hard to do. Single Zergling goes down to the Widow Mine. Try and probably take that out. Doesn't waste any biles on it. Marine Cyclone counter drop comes in. SCVs, Marines into Cyclone, try to defend. Oh, no. Clem, he's going to lose his siege tank. The Lings get up the ramp. The biles land. And that's going to be some real damage going down. But hold on, more SCVs. Drilly boys, assemble! And they are once again ready to fight on the front lines. Is there any answer on the other side of the map? The Marines and Cyclones, if they get on top of his production, that might be game ending. There is a tank and a ready point Cyclone barely hanging on this side. The SCVs are almost gone. The Drilly boys almost exhausted, but there's just nothing here to defend. The drones are forced off the line. Oh no, conscripting the children, the women and children, sending them on the front lines. Oh, rolling pins and kids' toys seem like a very necessary part of society, and they really are, but they are not useful for warfare. The SCVs helping a bit more for the buffering as they had a few more units with actual weapons behind them, but the drones being forced onto the front line, it's like having your kids at the beach and they've got those little shovels and trowels and things and buckets, and then you tell them to go and attack a 6'4" man of pure muscle who's using steroids and doing push-ups, and for some reason your kids attack him, and then he starts yeeting them into the ocean. That's essentially what happened to those drones. Clem's army was unstoppable. He was on top of the production, and he barely held it home with just enough units. And Clem, even though Dark made the series messy, Clem was too tight in the midst of the messiness, and there was a few too many kind of unforced supply block errors and things like that. And I think, you know, we've seen it in the past where Dark has beaten Maru in a few GSL finals over the years, and it's only when Mythical Dark shows up, right? And the last 4 years of Dark, he only beats like a really top-tier dominant Terran in a big series like this if he shows up in the mythical form of Dark. The no supply block Dark, we see him usually once every year and a half. He just didn't bring it out this series. A few too many supply blocks. I love the way he played strategically, but just needs to tighten up those builds a little bit. Clem, of course, is a freak and needs to be stopped, but it's not going to be Dark who stops him today. GG, well played.